Hey there, my friend. This is Dr. Anthony from the Fit Father Project, and we get asked by guys all the time, how do I stay healthy and stay consistent with my healthy eating and my exercise routines when I'm traveling? And we get this question so much from our Fit Father 30X program members that we actually built a new program called Travel Fit that covers the proper travel meal plan, travel workouts, and travel accountability to keep you on track, whether you're on vacation or whether you're on business travel. It's incredibly important for you. And we offer this program for guys in our monthly membership, Fit Father for Life. But because I want to help you out today, and this is such an important topic, I'm going to give you a sneak peek into one of our nutrition program videos that's going to help you get a handle on how to prepare for healthy eating before your next trip. Let's dive on in.
FitFatherProject.com.
All right, my friend, welcome to the Travel Fit Nutrition Overview video. In this video, we're gonna pretty much cover everything you need to know on how to prepare for on-the-go eating. Like, how do you stay healthy when you're going on a family vacation, on a business trip, and you're generally just on the move? What kind of foods should you be putting into your body, into your suitcase? We're gonna cover all that in this video. And specifically, to make this really easy to understand, we're gonna cover the exact products. And in addition to this video, link below is a PDF that has all of this stuff. So you don't need to worry about jotting down names of products that you see here on video. I just wanna give you the concepts that you can have because you have that PDF. But really, we're gonna break this down into 3 phases. First, your trip's coming up. What do you actually pack and plan for that trip? That's phase 1. Phase 2, we're gonna talk about in transit. So you're on the airplane, you're on the train, you're on the boat, you're in the car, you're going somewhere. What do you put into your body? How do you fuel? And step 3, you're there on your trip. You're actually there, you're on the ground. What do you actually, get at restaurants if you're eating out? What do you actually, eat when you're at the business trip? So prepare, in transit, on the ground. We're gonna cover all of those. Let's dive on in. So to really cover this, we're gonna kind of have a hypothetical trip that you have coming up. You have a business trip coming up in 1 week, and we need to really ask ourselves, the first question is, where are you going and what are you gonna have access to? So let's just say that you're going to a city and there's gonna be opportunity for you to go to Whole Foods or Sprouts or some kind of grocery store to buy some of this stuff. Knowing that ahead of time, that might change the kind of things that we're gonna pack. Versus if you're going somewhere and you know that you will not have access to purchase any things when you land there. Let's say you're going on like a fishing trip or you're going somewhere that's in the forest and you won't have access to stuff. Then we're gonna have to plan differently. So that is an important question to ask yourself that's gonna dictate the kind of things we pack. But overall, and an overarching theme, we do tend to pack similar things regardless of which kind of trip you're going on. So the first thing we wanna look at is developing your main meal replacement shake. Because let's face it, if we're traveling for pleasure or for business, sometimes we're just not gonna be able to get a healthy meal and we're not gonna have a refrigerator with all of our go-to foods that we can pull from. So step number 1, meal replacement shake. The exact recipe for this again is in the PDF below. But I really wanna pull out some key things because this is something that I do on every single trip. Is we get a little baggie right here. So this is one of those multiple gallon baggies. And in here, we're gonna put some protein powder. So here, I actually have some protein powder already in here, but whatever whey or plant-based protein you have, you're gonna put this in here. And you're also gonna add in some cacao or some chocolate powder. And you can also add in some chia seeds and a little bit of some MCT oil, which is that healthy oil that we use in all of our Fit Father programs because it helps you burn fat. So we're gonna put that into a jar and kind of mix it up. Now, typically what I like to say is one actual daily serving of this is roughly going to equate to around 1.5 scoops of protein. So you can actually put your protein scooper in here. So when you get to location, you'll know that 1.5 scoops is going to be actually what you're going to be putting in as a meal. And what I like to do is get one of these mason jars. That's just a clean little 32-ounce mason jar. And once I have this all pre-mixed in here, so again, the recipe for this is in the PDF. You are just going to put this in the baggie. Stick this baggie in this mason jar and bam, this thing right here, super easy, simple, portable. This will get through TSA because there's no liquids. This thing gives me around 5 good meal replacements throughout my trip. It's non-perishable, meaning it does not need to be refrigerated. That makes this incredibly valuable. So for me, let's say I'm speaking at a conference or a seminar. I know every day I have one good meal. And so this is very similar if you're on our FitValor 30X program, some of those breakfast fat burning shakes. Very similar recipe. You can also toss in any of your greens powders or anything for a great on the go. So we have a meal replacement shake. That is absolutely essential. So when we actually get our travel backpack or whatever you have, I'm gonna holster this thing right up here on the side so it's good to go. I totally have that. Now, the next thing we wanna look at is what kind of on-the-go snacks can we bring that are not gonna be perishable as well. And the first thing we wanna look at is the actual bars themselves. So I pulled a bunch of different bars. I went and did a little shopping trip at Whole Foods last night for this video to get a bunch of different bars to show you some good bars and some bad bars. And again, we're gonna have the exact list with links to all the good bars in the PDF below this video. But essentially what you wanna look at for some of these bars is you wanna have a bar that has ideally a 2-to-1 protein to sugar ratio. So we'll get a close-up of these bars in just a second just to show you the ingredients list, but the point here is that bad bars, ones that you don't actually want to be eating, typically have a 1-to-1 ratio of sugar to protein. So that means if it has 20 grams of protein, it has 20 grams of sugar. That is a crap bar. Typically, we want these bars to have around 20 grams of protein at least, with 10 grams of sugar or less. So over here, we have some of these good bars. And the reason is this guy right here, even though it has 15 grams of protein, it only has 3 grams of sugar. So for me, I would personally eat 2 of these bars for one general sitting, because what we want for these travel meals is, roughly speaking, for most guys, we want our meals to have around 35 to 45 grams of protein, let's say around 35 grams of carbs, and maybe like 25 grams of fat. We'll be able to accomplish this by having 2 of these bars. Or if we have a bigger bar right here, this guy has 27 grams of protein and 13 grams of sugar. So it fits the bill. We have a 2-to-1 protein to sugar ratio. This is gonna be a good option. And again, in the PDF below, we have this linked, but we wanna get bars. I typically like to allot myself around 1 bar per day that I'm traveling. And again, the list of the ones you can find on Amazon are all there for you. I've personally vetted them so you know they're good. But in addition to having 1 serving of the meal replacement per day, we want 1 of these bars. Another thing that's good is we have some of these almond butter or hazelnut butter little squeeze packets. These are great snacks. If you don't want to straight do nuts or almonds or walnuts or whatever, you can just do these little packages, and they're all natural, and you could just have, each of these has around, I think it has, this has like 5-6 grams of protein with some healthy fats. So this is something that you can actually pair with a bar that has lower amounts of protein to really just boost it up. So this is a full complete meal while you're traveling. Now, I want to also bring up an example of 3 over here that are some bad bars. You might have seen these are famous, these Kind bars right here. These Kind bars are more or less like glorified granola. Like this guy right here has, 4 grams of protein for 10 grams of sugar. I mean, that's just something, that's the exact opposite ratio. That's a 2-to-1 sugar to protein ratio. Not your best option. Or this Cliff Bar here, for example. This thing has 20 grams of sugar for 20 grams of protein. That's a 1-to-1 ratio. Something you absolutely want to avoid. So point being of why I actually split these out for you is that there are some crap bars you absolutely want to avoid, and there are some good bars. I give you the list as a part of Travel Fit so you know exactly what to do. I also bought one of these bison bars right here. So this is actually a piece of bison right here. And the reason I bought this is not to suggest you actually do this, because you'll see these in all the grocery stores now. They have pork, salmon, bison, etc. This thing was like $4 and it only has 7 grams of protein. So my point being is this is actually, in my opinion, a total scam. I would save my money. I would go with one of these better bars. I mean, these are healthy in the sense that like they have good nutrient stats. 7 grams of protein, very low sugar, very low fat, but they just don't make sense because this thing literally has under 100 calories. And we need to find a way as part of Travel Fit to get enough calories in our bodies, the right kind of calories. This just doesn't make sense to me. Other ways to do this that are going to be lower in fat and sugar is using some shakes. So I picked up 2 of these, very standard Orgain shakes, and each one of these guys has 20 grams of protein, 2 grams of fat, and 4 grams of sugar. So these are perfect on-the-go things. And I like these because they're totally sealed. You can put these in a suitcase just fine. And if you're actually paranoid about them exploding, just put them in one of these kind of Ziploc bags. So these liquid shakes are another great option. I still recommend, if you do these, allot yourself one per day, still have the meal replacement, and still have at least 1 bar per day. That is the basic stuff. Now we're gonna get a little more hardcore. What I personally like to do, because I like to opt for as many whole foods as I can in my diet, I often bring a tin of canned sardines or canned wild salmon. Now, both of these are by far some of the best protein sources on the planet. They have those healthy omega-3 fatty acids. They're all tinned, so they're super easy and convenient to travel with. They're fine if you want to take them through TSA in an airport. Occasionally, when I recently had a family trip out to Hawaii, I traveled with like 15 of these different tins in my suitcase, totally fine. So each one of these guys, just to give you some stats, has around 25 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and a lot of those healthy fats. So if you're good with sardines like I am, you know, throw a little mustard on these. The tin is just right there. You can peel it open. This is a perfect snack. Or you can do it with the wild canned salmon, which is great as well. This stuff actually, make sure you get the wild. It tastes just like tuna, pretty much. So it's great. You can mix it with a little bit of a good high quality avocado oil based mayo. But point being is some canned wild fish is a great option while you're traveling. And also another thing I like to take is some mixed nuts. So here I have some macadamia nuts and some pistachios. You want to put these in a baggie. These are a part of your arsenal. You know, especially, it's basically the equivalent of doing one of these packages, but it's a lot more economic to do some mixed nuts. 1 serving of these mixed nuts is gonna be about 1/4 cup. And as you're gonna see in the PDF below, we give you the exact combinations of all the things you should be doing while you're traveling. But to recap what we've covered so far, you will have your meal replacement shake. This could be what you use in the morning for a quick, convenient breakfast. If you want to be on the go out the door, you're going to make 1 serving per day that you're traveling. We have the good bars right here. We have some of these prepackaged nuts right here, and we have a shake or some canned salmon or some tins. This is part of the battle plan. Now, what you do when you have your suitcase is you load these things up. You can put it in a big 10-gallon. I can put all this stuff into a big 10-gallon, wrap it up, put it inside the clothes. It's not gonna break or bust. It'll be totally fine. So that is the big picture of the non-perishable stuff. All this stuff does not need to be refrigerated, which makes it very useful for your trip no matter where you are. Now, let's say that you know that where you're going, let's say you're going to a hotel room that you know has a mini fridge. We can take advantage of that and actually do a little meal prep on our way in. So what I have here is a pre-prepared meal. I'll show you what I did here. I have some white rice, some shredded chicken, and some cauliflower with some buffalo seasoning. This is a meal that what I like to do is, if I know I have a refrigerator where I'm going, I prepare a couple of these ahead of time. Put them in this little storage container thing. Take a thing of ice, and I like to travel with a backpack as my carry-on that has the ability in the bottom of this thing to slide in an ice pack right in here and slide this in right here. So this is a secret where I can actually fit about 4 of these meals in there. And TSA will allow you to travel with an ice pack as long as it's frozen. So if I know I'm going to a place that actually has a refrigerator, I can put 3 or 4 of these really good meals in. And another trick is you can actually freeze those meals, not need an ice pack, and take them to your destination. Another really good trick where you can actually get real whole foods that are frozen on your trip, especially if you know there's gonna be a refrigerator where you land or where you're going. So that is the preparation side of things. We're essentially gonna rely on some non-perishable bars, some shakes, some of these meal replacements, and some of the nuts and seeds. And in the PDF below, we cover the exact amounts that you should be having for each of these. But I really wanna show you this stuff doesn't have to be too hard once you're tactical. Now at this point we've prepared, and we've prepared based on where we know we're going. Now we're gonna talk about what to do in transit to your trip. So 9 times out of 10, just to cut straight to the chase, the best thing you can do when you're on an airplane or you're on a long car ride is just to fast through the trip. Just don't eat. And there's a ton of benefits. If you're in Fit Father 30X Phase 2, then you know how powerful fasting is for your fat loss, for your energy levels, for your body's detoxification, for building brain cells. But it's also very logistically sound when we're traveling, because if we're on the airplanes, what are they serving us? Well, typically sodas, fruit juices, crappy moldy peanuts, plus, some of those pretzels. It's just a better idea to focus on hydrating with good liquids. So what I like to do when I travel is bring one of these water bottles. Let's say I'm going to the airport. Make sure you keep it empty until you get through security. Once you get through security, fill this puppy up and just drink water, green tea, and black coffee during your trip. And what the research actually shows is that using fasts while you're traveling can actually help prevent jet lag. So what you want to do is essentially not eat as you're going to your destination, whether that's a road trip or whether that's you're going on an airplane. And when you get to your ideal city destination, if it's in a different time zone, get synced up with their eating schedule. So let's say you left early in the morning, you fasted, and then I get to my destination on the East Coast at maybe 6 or 7 p.m. I will have dinner at 6 or 7 p.m. I will take some melatonin, which we cover in the PDF as well, to reset my brain to the current sleep cycle of the place I'm going, and then I'm done eating for the day until breakfast the next morning. Fasting until you get to the actual meal timing of your destination city helps prevent jet lag, and using that with melatonin is huge. So another example is, let's say you're taking a red eye. What you would do is essentially fast from dinner throughout the night. The worst thing you could do is be eating those crappy little airline snacks in the middle of the night, and just fast until breakfast the next morning at your destination city. That will get your body synced up, and it helps prevent jet lag and keeps your metabolism humming along. When we do foods at the wrong times, it really junks up our bodies and confuses our bodies. So in transit, I highly recommend you do some kind of fasting with water, green tea, black coffee, and definitely travel with, this mason jar. I can fill this up with water, or a nice refillable hydro flask or bottle like this. Really useful. So in transit, almost best to eat very lightly, if at all. And then when you get to your destination city, you sync back up with the next meal. So now you're on the ground, you're at whatever kind of situation you're at, whether it's a business meeting or a family trip. If you have the ability to go to a grocery store there, then maybe you didn't have to do quite as much of this prep ahead of time, and you can go buy some things, stick it in the fridge. But if you don't even want to do that, then you have all of your stuff at your disposal. So let's talk now at the next part of this about what to do when you go out to dinner, you're at a business client meeting, you're at a nice dinner with your family on vacation. How do you navigate that? Well, it all comes back to perfect plates. Whenever I'm at a restaurant, the first thing I'm looking at is, at those dinner entrees, which one has a main lean protein? So things I'm always looking for is some kind of lean sirloin steak, a pork loin. I'm looking for a chicken breast. I'm looking for some wild salmon or some fish. Pick a entree that starts with the main protein and has a vegetable on the side. Almost all restaurants have at least one healthy entree that's sitting in there. That's typically like a fish. It's typically like a fish with some greens and some rice. They always have something like that. So find a meal that's based on that main protein, that has veggies on the side. Ask them to steam the veggies. Make sure they don't drench them with some low quality oil. Just ask them to steam them. You can always put some salt and some olive oil on the side, and get a small serving of healthy carbs. That might be a small baked potato with all the fixings on the side, a small sweet potato, some rice. If you do a protein plus a small amount of these healthy carbs plus some veggies, you'll be in good shape. What you want to avoid is really loading up on some of these fried appetizers that are just going to kick your butt. And also the breads and the butters ahead of time, skip that stuff. Have a small salad to start, have that protein-rich entree, eat slowly, and you'll be totally fine. Now, if you're here, you're on a business meeting and you want to have a drink, that's totally good. Stick with 1 glass of red wine, 1 glass of light beer, or 1 mixed cocktail. Just enjoy 1 drink. And you'll be good to go. There won't be any problems with you not drinking at a business meeting if that's the situation that you find yourself in. Just have 1 drink and have that nice entree that's protein forward. And other than that, you can essentially use, the first thing you get up in the morning, you can use this as your morning shake. And then you can have a lunch out there, have a nice salad or something for lunch at whatever restaurant you're out at. Have one of these snacks midday, and then have one of those dinners at a restaurant that's protein forward. When I'm traveling, I like to think of it as this. Shake, salad for lunch, snack in the afternoon, supper at a restaurant. So shake, salad, snack, supper. It's a really easy way for me to think about how I approach travel. We have all the snacks laid out here. We have the shake for the morning. We can get a salad at any restaurant on the planet pretty much. I mean, even McDonald's, you can find a grilled chicken breast salad. And then at dinner, you essentially get one of these protein forward entrees and you're good to go. So that is the nutrition part of this travel fit. What we want to do is really prepare ourselves with the right ingredients and products to make it so that we're not scrambling when we get to our location destination trying to find things because we didn't prepare adequately. And you can stick all this stuff in your backpack and your suitcase and you'll have everything you need. So I hope you found this helpful. This is just my way on video to show you what I actually prepare. I mean, this is the literal exact stuff that I would be putting in my suitcase to make sure I have what I need and I'm not leaving my nutrition decisions on a whim. So if I was traveling, I'd just pack this stuff up, throw my clothes, get a pair of underwear, I'm out the door. So I hope this helps you. Download the PDF below this video associated to get all the exact product lists, links to where you can buy them on Amazon and other places, as well as the exact portion sizes. And then in addition to this setup step, when you're done with this, make sure you scroll below, hit mark as complete, and that'll take you to the exercise setup step where I'm gonna give you a couple different kinds of workouts that you can do with your body weight, with some suspension trainers and resistance bands that you can also throw in your suitcase in addition to this stuff for a complete travel fit plan. Check out that PDF, hit mark as complete when you're done, and I'll see you in the next video, my friend.